So this series of videos, I'm going to show you how I make some solder-free igniters. They seem to work very, very well. The credit for these goes out to Danny from Rockets R Us. He and I were talking about these and kind of explained really quick on the phone how it worked. And so I've made several of them, and they have all worked flawlessly as of date. So I wanted to take some time and show you once again how I am doing it. This is not telling you how you should, but if you choose to, that is really on you. But it seems to work for me very well. So materials list. Some wire strippers. Okay. Got a razor, a couple of spoons, a knife in case I need it. I've got some black powder here. This is really finely ground black powder. Some nitrocellulose. So this is about 5 or 6 ping pong balls in this little jar that I've cut up and put some acetone, which is right there, acetone. And we have some graphite. I got that from Home Depot. I think it was $2 for this little tube. We probably won't be needing the entire tube, but as you can see, it's readily available stuff. A couple of Dixie cups for dipping my stuff in. I have a couple pieces of wire here. The first piece of wire that I have is for those of you in IT. We have a piece of Cat 5 cable. This might even be Cat 6, Cat 5 cable. And inside of that particular cable is 4 strands. Sorry, there's 8 strands. There's 2 pairs for 8 strands. This can be purchased at Home Depot for probably 30 or 40 cents a foot. And it's really a great way to go. I'd suggest getting 20 or 30 feet of it for $10 or so, and you'll have all of the igniters that you could probably use in a year's time. Here I have the secondary piece is this was the remnants from an ejection charge that I used here this last weekend. And lastly, if you're resourceful, I picked this up from the field. This was a piece of shooter wire that somebody used to launch a rocket with and discarded it there out on the field. And I just wanted to take it and show you that you could repurpose this for making a new igniter. So those are the materials list that I will be using to make myself some igniters. So I will show you how to do that here in the next few scenes. So the first thing I'm going to do is prepare my wire. This wire here is that repurposed wire that I found out on the field. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip both ends of this wire. The one end I'm going to strip about 1 inch of wire or sheathing, and the other end I'm going to strip about maybe a little more than a little more than an eighth inch, maybe 3/16. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down and show you how that happens. So what I have here is the end of the wire. If I can get the camera to focus on it. And I'm going to use this razor to carefully slice that apart and hopefully not slice my fingers apart. And as you can see, we've got the wire stripped or separated, and I've got my handy dandy stripping tools. Hopefully it's set appropriately that I can... Oh, no, it's not. So as you can see, I've got maybe a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other one. And I'll restart the camera when I have all of the wire stripped appropriately. Alright, so what I have here now is this is that shooter wire that I picked up off the field. And you can see there's probably 3/16 wire standing proud. And pay close attention to the fact that I didn't separate the two pieces, right? We don't want to separate them for, this is going to be the end that I'm actually putting my pyrogen on. The other end is separated, and I've probably got an inch or so, maybe that's an inch and a half, that I'll be using to connect the igniters to, or to the ignition system. So here I have the small wires. Next I'm going to be mixing up my my actual pyrogen. So I've got this jar of nitrocellulose and acetone. I just wanted to kind of show you the consistency of it. It's like, I don't know, really warm honey. A little thinner than syrup, and as you can see it's just dripping in. And what we use, we kind of use this for a binder for our graphite. And for those of you that are familiar with electronics, resistors are made out of carbon, and graphite is made out of carbon. Graphite is carbon, I should say. So what we're going to do basically is we're going to turn the end of this into a very small resistor, and when we put voltage across it, it should get hot enough that it actually gets red hot and ignites. So the way that I go about this is I take, put the cup as close as I can to save the mess, and I'm going to put maybe 2 teaspoons in there. And as you can see, I don't have much in there at all. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my graphite and I'm going to pour that in. So I'm going to come back with the video when I'm showing you where I'm at after I poured that in.